Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the QC Show. Today I'm talking with my friend, stand-up Tony Hsu. This is part one. Enjoy the show. So, what got you into stand-up? Because I remember the very first time I saw you, you were basically just like a kid who looked like you were in high school, and you wandered into this comedy club in the basement of 23 Public.
Yeah, I think I'm 19 at that time, right? 19. And I thought everyone looks like a pedophile, you know? You're like the least creepy guy. That's why I talked to you. That's why we became friends. Because you don't want to fuck me in the ass. You don't have that face, you know? You're the guy that tell me don't do drugs. I remember that. Like everyone tell me like you should enjoy your life, you're young, and you should do as many drugs as you want, but you're like the guy who's like telling me to calm down.
That's right. I gave you you asked me, so I told you what I thought. That was before you left for LA. I was concerned, what kind of route. Perhaps the pandemic saved your life because you had to come back.
You're right. How do you know that?
Yeah, maybe. But let's talk about your stand-up. What got you into stand-up? Like what motivated you to like walk into also a place where it's all English stand-up? You're going to get up on a stage in front of a whole bunch of strangers.
Because life in Asia is like miserable. It's like all studying and all tests and exams. And I love Louis C.K. I love Louis C.K. I have so many comedy heroes. And at that time, I don't think it's possible that there's a place for Taiwanese to perform. So I really just wandered by. But I watched a couple of shows before I do open mic.
When you say a couple of shows, you watched a couple of shows at 23 Public.
I think by the second time or third time I told Brian, I'm like, next time I'm going to perform.
Right. You're talking about our friend Brian, who's now the big famous stand-up in Taiwan.
Right. Yeah, but at that time, he's like the only Asian dude. So I'm like telling him that because I don't want people to think that I'm just there to enjoy the performance. I want them to know that I'm a comedy fan. And I can't just say I'm a comedy fan if I didn't even try to at least perform once.
Right. And you mentioned Louis C.K. was one of your fans. How did you come across Louis C.K.?
Oh, I think Louis C.K. has the most clips on YouTube, I think. Yeah. Before I loved like comedy YouTube sketches, but then somehow the YouTube just recommend me stand-up comedy. And Louis C.K. is like the first huge comedian that YouTube decide for me to enjoy. I think it's because Louis C.K. have the most controversial subject. And that just surprised me as an Asian kid, I think. Because that's like really liberating, I think. There's no other comedians that just touch subjects like him. So that's like crazy for me. He's like talking about anything. He literally talks about anything he wants to talk about.
Right. I also remember that, when you did your show and when you would do your shows, you really did talk about anything.
Yeah. And that's not a good thing right now. But before, it's fun. Before Black Lives Matter, you can talk about racial subject and you can have everyone enjoy it. But now, I think, no. Those subjects are thrown away. Those materials is gone.
How do you feel about that? Like,
I'm a different person now, if you are asking. I'm a different person.
And would you say stand-up comedy changed you, or how are you a different person?
I think LA changed me, I think. Because in LA, in Taiwan, when I perform, I don't need to think about who I am. But in LA, when I go on stage, everyone look at me. They want to hear about like my perspective. But in Taiwan, I just talk about stuff that interests me. But in LA, suddenly I become an Asian guy. I have to talk about Asian material or like gay material because that's who I am. Yeah, so that's why my material now is less like racial material, but it's more like gay material and Asian material. That's like my two big categories.
Do you find that the LA experience? How can you compare that to doing stand-up in Taiwan?
Oh, in LA it's rough. Like if you want to go on stage, you have to wait for a very long time. You have to put your name on a piece of paper, and they'll draw it from a ball, and they'll shake it, and then you'll have to wait for 2 hours to be on stage. But if you want to be on stage faster, you can pay to be on stage. There's like some clubs that you just pay $5 for 5 minutes, $10 for 8 minutes. But still, it's not good because all the audience are all performers. Everyone just going there to perform for other comics. No one's like appreciating you. There's no community.
And everyone's kind of bitter and cynical.
Yeah, everyone's like trying to do their hour. So it's like, so it's really weird. You can't find your voice there. A lot of people think that, oh, LA is a place to go. But after going there, you know, you shouldn't go there to find your voice. You should find your voice where you came from. But when you have your name, when you have a sense of yourself, a little bit popularity, then you go to LA or New York. So yeah, but it's good for me because I know what's the scene like. Like if I didn't go to LA, now I will still perform the same stuff I performed long time ago. Yeah, so it's really good to know what's everyone's doing and then come back to where I came from.
And I guess, you know, we take it for granted. A lot of the performers in Taiwan take it for granted that they show up at like Sam's Club, you know, Sam Yarb's, and you just put your name on a sheet and you're going up that night, right? And there's almost like no wait. You know, you wait through the show or whatever, but everyone gets to go up.
Yes, that's why I'm so grateful. Actually, I want to cry even when you don't think about it. If you never think about it in Taiwan. That's how lucky you are. You can just put your name on it, and then you can perform. Like less than an hour, you can be on stage performing for real audience. Yeah, so that's like crazy. I think the best thing is that like all the performers are there, so there's like a sense of community. Even everyone's not like good bodies, but if you see the same people every week, that motivates you. You know, you want to be a better comic, and you have that relationship. Even you are not close to everyone, but you have that relationship. You grow together. But in LA, no. You see someone, then he's gone. Maybe he just dropped by for a week. Maybe he's just a visitor from outside state. Yeah, you don't have friends. That's what I mean. Like it's hard to make any friends or comedian friends. Because everyone just want to be better. And everyone just want to perform with the people who have names. So if you don't have name, like who want to talk to you?
And on that note, I noticed, you know, while you were there, you posted a lot of pictures on Facebook of, you know, people with names that wanted to talk to you. Apparently,
that's what I'm doing, you know, because like if I can make normal friends, then I'll just hang out with celebrities. That's my pursuit. I'm like, then I should tell everyone that I'm friends with all the big names, so people might want to be friends with me, and that worked.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, I was pretty impressed the magnitude of the celebrities and just how many, right? Like, who are the big names that you spoke to that you remember?
I think so many big names, like Billboard, like you can name it, like Ali Wong, Eddie Murphy, like all the comedians, all the top comedians in LA, because LA comics are very interesting because they gather in comedy clubs, the Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, or Largo. This is like the top 3 places that they perform. So if you know the back alley, like where they enter and where they exit, you just meet them. But I'm like Asian and I'm less harmful. Like when they see me, they don't think I'm like a lunatic, you know. It's easier for me to approach them than other white kids. I'll just wait for them and I'll be very polite, like hi sir, like that kind, you know.
But you are waiting in the alley.
Yeah,
like behind the garbage can or something.
I'm like the only guy who do that because most of the crazy guy they want people to sign things, and I'm just there for a photo. So that's why I think they let me do that.
Did anybody say no?
Yeah, so many people say no. Like John C. Reilly, he's a dick.
Oh, is he?
Like he never take photos. I heard that Step Brothers are both fakes, like Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. Because John C. Reilly, he rejected me for so many times. He just never sign paper or take any photos. And you know who's a dick? Who I'm like the most heartbroken? Martin Short.
Oh no.
He's the most. He's like he's an asshole. It's so funny because I'm like Martin Short, and then it's like he didn't even look at me. And then I'm like I follow him for a while, and I'm like, can I hug you? And it's like no. It's like,
man, that's a bummer because sometimes I heard that Martin Short is supposed to be the nicest guy in Hollywood.
yeah, that's what I thought too. Like, and that's like his image, you know. Every time when I watch Martin Short video, I'm like laughing my ass off, and I'm like, this is the most friendly guy probably in Hollywood. And then I get that reaction. I started to think about like maybe everyone's fake, you know. Yeah, that's like that one hurts. There's a lot of people reject photo, but that one really hurts. I still think about it every day.
Hey guys, so that's it for another episode of the QC Show. Hope you enjoyed it. And please don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to receive updates, and hit that like button. That's probably the best way to find out when we upload new episodes. So far, we have no comments, so please leave a comment. Maybe let us know who you'd like to hear from or what you'd like to talk about. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the show, and see you next time.